He's not only a friend. I have prayed for this man multiple times, and God has spoke to me. This is a mountain of a man. That is what I've heard. Not only in size, but in character, in spirituality, and in humor. He's a church builder, a Christian, a great husband, a wonderful father, and our Presidente. Mr. Carlos Velez, his speech is from the Speeches of Management manual. It's 4 to 6 minutes and is titled, How to Get Along with Criticism. Give me an equally robust cheering for our president. I didn't give you any help.
Good luck. We love to criticize people. We just love it. We don't have the strength to accept it, but we love it. We love to look at other people and find everything we can criticize about them. For that reason, I have a question for you. Number one, do you like to be criticized? Do you enjoy that? When somebody takes you as the point of reference, do you enjoy that? Only. Yeah. And obviously, do you like to criticize others? You will tell me no. I know that for a fact, but if we are honest, we enjoy it. We enjoy it because this is what happened. Because we are human beings, every single time we compare with somebody else, we can find their faults. That's the problem when you and I become believers in Christ. Because when we stand in front of Him, the only faults we found are ours. He's perfect and just and holy. And for some reason, based in our nature, criticism is close to our lives every single day. This is the problem. The problem is that praise and criticism are windows to our hearts. For that reason, when you hear somebody praising you or you hear somebody criticizing you, you don't process that through your brain. That goes right from your ear to your heart. And that's why when somebody praises you, some of you, you bow your head because you don't process that in your mind that you probably are worthy of that praise. And sometimes when somebody criticizes you, your first reaction is to grab a pipe or a bat or something and let them know who you are, right? Because praise and criticism are windows to the heart. And one of my objectives, one of my goals as president of this club is to help all of us, including myself, to understand that criticism, number one, is close to our lives in this club. We become better when we know how to handle criticism. We call it here evaluations because, it sounds more polite and politically correct. But the reality is, somebody's going to come after the two of us later and destroy us. That's the reality. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 has a great teaching for us. It is better to be criticized by a wise person than praised by a fool. I love that. Because sometimes we are pursuing praise as the goal, and we don't process from where that praise is coming. And sometimes we reject criticism just because it makes us feel bad instead of taking advantage of the opportunity to become a better person, in our case, a better speaker. I want you to consider this for a moment. Because when you praise somebody, often reveals what you value the most. You see, if I compliment your shoes, it's because probably I value those things. But the challenge with criticism is that criticism often reveals your deepest insecurities. You know, when somebody criticizes the way you walk, or how big, or how small, or how tall, or how short you are, sometimes those things, what you're showing is your individual and personal insecurities. For that reason, not only to receive criticism, it's a great task, but when you and I give criticism, we need to be careful. For that reason, I want to talk to you very quickly about 5 responses, or how we should respond to criticism. And number 1 is this: you never fight when somebody criticizes you. That's a wrong response. And even worse than that is number 2. You never flight when somebody criticizes you. Oh, Eric is here, bye. He's going to criticize. No. When somebody criticizes you, you never fight, and you never what? Flight. But there are 3 great responses that you and I could have. And the first one is this: when somebody criticizes you and me, hey, listen, pay attention. Because you know what? They're trying to help. Especially when you can discern that their motive is to help and not to hurt. And how do I know that? Well, this is very simple. When they criticize the problem, they want to help. When they criticize you, they want to hurt. Pretty simple, right? And number 2, when a person can't help. For example, if I sell you pills to lose weight, I don't think you will buy them. Make some sense? Number 2, answer. When somebody criticizes you, answer. Because sometimes they don't have the whole information. And you can clarify a point, and their view about that thing that you need to fix could change. Don't be afraid, and answer. Number 3, this is a hard one. Sometimes we need to dismiss criticism. Why? Oh, this is not good. Go very quickly here. Sometimes we need to dismiss criticism because there are people who are characterized for being overly critical. And there are people who are emotionally damaged and wounded, and they just need to criticize. And when you notice that, you just say, thank you, and you just dismiss that. Because again, they're trying to hurt and not to bless you. Winston Churchill brought us this great quote, and I just need to read it to close and wrap up this. Criticism may not be agreeable, but is necessary. It fulfills the same function as pain in the human body. It calls attention to an unhealthy state of things. And today we're going to have the opportunity to listen to several evaluations. And some of them will be a little bit painful. Hey, there's something wrong, and we can fix it. We can fix it if we learn how to deal with criticism. Thank you.
In the parameters of Carlos's speech in the manual, he has 2 to 3 minutes now for questions pertaining to this topic.
Yeah.
Could you give us an example about answering somebody for criticism? Because that might be excuse-making or argumentative. What does it look like?
Well, you know, I have an example that happened here a few weeks ago. I always sit here, and you, Matthew, are the one responsible to tell all of us to shut down our phones before the meeting. And as one of you were doing the general evaluation a few weeks ago, I was sitting here watching that person, and somebody was texting and using their phone. And that created a lot of discomfort, at least to me, because it looks very disrespectful to the person who's speaking right here. And as this person was evaluating the meeting, I was watching that person, and I make a signal to cut it, right? And then I turned my face, and I was not too happy with that. Can I be honest with you? I was not too excited. Well, the thing is, after the meeting, that person came to me and told me, hey, let me give you a point of improvement. When somebody's evaluating the meeting and evaluating you, your job as president, you should not have that phase, of discomfort, right? And I said, hey, wait. I admit that I have the phase, but it was not because of your evaluation. And I explained, I was watching this person using the phone, and that created discomfort to me, but it was not because of your words. And that person said, okay, that's fine. And that was over. That was all. You see, that person didn't have the perspective that I had from my chair to watch that person with a cell phone. And because he didn't know, he came to me to fix something that he thought it was broken. But once we provided the information, everything was clean. Any other questions? Eric?
So how do you discern between spoken criticism and maybe a critical spirit where the words never come out?
Yeah, well, 70% of what we communicate or more is through our bodies. And you know when somebody is screaming at you with their mouth closed. You know that. In the same way we perceive when we are observed, when somebody's observing, you can perceive that. There are several attitudes in people when they avoid to shake hands with you, when they avoid to have any contact with you. You know something is not right. I will say that. One more question, sir.
How do you handle insult?
Oh, how do you handle insult? Well, you know what? There are people in life who have the goal to show how ignorant they are. You know that? And you need to help them because that's their goal, okay? My suggestion for you will be this. You need to remain silent. And then when the waters come back to the place, you have the opportunity to sit down with that person and clarify whatever needs to be clarified. But never argue with a stupid person because they will win and prove you who they really are. Okay? I appreciate your time. I appreciate your help. Thank you.